What's up, everybody? Welcome back into TK Wrestling, and we are here, we are back, and we are ready to talk about King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring, the build-up to SummerSlam, and everything happening in the WWE world right now. Dr. Dye, how has it been? The semester is over, but it is not over for you because right into summer school.
Yeah, man, right into summer school, so it's not the worst, it's nice. Summer school's a slow down, kind of do it at my own pace. So been getting the house organized, got a little more comics in the background here. Not many. Maybe I'll figure out one day how to hang them.
You just got to get some shelves on the wall at this point.
Oh, man. No, I bought three new bookshelves, dude. So I just haven't put them up yet, but it's going to be a massive, too many books, man. Too many books.
At some point, you're just gonna have to get rid of the couch, and you'll just have little seating chairs because all the walls will be full.
Have like a cushion on top of comic book boxes is what I'll have.
We'll just have little bean bags on the floor like we're living in Southeast Asia. We'll just have little floor bags.
I'll have inflatable chairs. That way, they're not in the way unless you need one.
There you go. Hey, you need a chair? 5 minutes, blow that up, and you'll be ready to go.
I got an air compressor,
What? You're talking over, yeah. All right, so yeah, guys, we're here talking about King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring and everything that's going on with that, the build up to SummerSlam, and a lot going on right now. The post Clash in Italy, WWE's been pretty good. Weekly television has really stepped up their game, and that's saying something with one of the guys we have on our outline, Randy Orton, and also CM Punk just being completely gone. AJ Lee also gone. A lot of big names are gone from WWE TV right now, but WWE, as they do, keeps it rolling, keeps on trucking, and the last few weeks have been pretty damn good. This past Monday Night Raw especially was pretty damn good, I'd say. So Matt, let's jump into your outline. Let me pull this up again. Let's see here.
Yeah, let's
start
with the bloodline, man.
Yeah. So first thing on the
Jacob,
agenda,
dude. Let's start with Jacob because I gotta know because I know you're as big a fan of Fatu as I am.
Yeah, so, I do like Fatu a lot. I don't necessarily love the whole neutering of the dog that is Jacob Werewolf per se.
Because you've seen like the bloodline storyline play out before or whatever. So, I mean, is this a neutering? Because we kind of see him, bark back at Jay a little bit, last week and whatnot. Like he's kind of maybe taking orders from Roman, but we'll see even on that. So, do you think they can keep Fatu on the leash or what's going to happen with this? I mean, I just can't buy it, dude.
Well, I think that I like the idea of Jacob saying like, hey, look, I don't answer to any of y'all but Roman. Mm-hmm. I lost to Roman. None of y'all beat me. Roman beat me. And I do like that idea. And to answer your question about do I think they can keep him on the leash? Absolutely not. Nobody can keep Jacob Fatu on a leash. Nah, dude. No way in hell anybody's keeping Jacob Fatu on a leash. I think Jacob is biding his time. I think he's going to pounce and make his move when the moment is right. And I think that this last upcoming qualifier match for the King of the Ring, which has a lot of storyline incentive involved in it, is going to maybe be the first domino to fall in that. You can argue that maybe this past Monday with Jacob, telling Jay and Jimmy, hey, I don't take orders from y'all. I don't have to follow y'all's lead, because y'all aren't Roman. Because look, at the end of the day, Jimmy and Jay have been around for a long time, one of the greatest tag teams, if not the greatest tag team of all time. But let's not pretend their resumes stack up to Roman Reigns, because they don't. Roman is the tribal chief. Roman is the leader of the bloodline. Roman is the one that took down Jacob Fatu. And when I look at the King of the Ring bracket and what this upcoming match is, look, we've got Jey Uso, LA Knight, Royce Keys, all three of which are kind of entangled in this storyline right now. And then Finn Balor, that odd man out, who also has history with Roman Reigns, though. So there's a lot of stuff. And funny enough, I think that this one has the most potential to be the guy who maybe wins the whole thing for the King of the Ring tournament. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But look, you got Jey Uso, you've got LA Knight, you got Royce Keys, and you got Finn Balor coming up in that match. I have a hard time thinking that with it being a fatal 4-way, no disqualification, that the Bloodline and the MFTs don't get involved somehow. And so when I look at Jacob Fatu, one of your questions you posed about Jacob and Jay was, do we see a match between the two? And I think we're headed towards a SummerSlam clash between those two. I wouldn't be shocked if we get Jacob Fatu and Jay one on one at SummerSlam with Jimmy kind of throwing his hands up in the background and saying, "Hey, y'all obviously got to figure this out, and I'm gonna let y'all do it. I'm gonna let you guys duke it out at SummerSlam, but when y'all are done, we're done with this. It's squashed." Now that can be what the Usos want, but that's obviously not what Jacob Fatu wants. So look, I think it's too early on to tell what's going to happen between Jacob and Roman. I don't think that Jacob's going to be the guy to take the title off of Roman. I feel like maybe eventually Jacob's just going to kind of go on his own way. But I also don't think that the bloodline is destined to last much longer. I'd be shocked if the bloodline in this current iteration makes it past 2026. If by WrestleMania next year Roman Reigns isn't all alone going into whatever match he has at WrestleMania, I would be shocked. So to answer your questions that you posed in the outline, yeah, I think we are going to get Jacob and Jay one on one. I think it's going to be at SummerSlam.
Yeah, no, I kind of want to see, like I said, jumping ahead a little bit, but
Mhm.
when we get to the King of the Ring, we got the match. Like I said, we got LA Knight, we got Jay, as you said, we got Royce, we got Finn. I'd like to see like Jacob and Jimmy come out and kind of pull the whole Finn Balor thing for Dom. We're like no, let him do it on his own. You know, let him do it on his own. Or I could see even Jacob helping LA Knight and defecting. And God, I mean, I'd love to see LA Knight and Fatu team up, like in some way, like two guys who are kind of them against the bloodline / the world, you know?
Yeah.
Like I would love to see those two guys kind of hook up. I mean, that would be a lot of fun, dude. Like it'd be like the Punisher and Lobo. Imagine you got a crossover like that.
You
And
got you got to tell me about Lobo. Just a 30-second tangent of Lobo.
oh, dude. Okay, well, look, go watch the Supergirl trailer. That's who Jason
Okay.
Momoa is playing in the new.
Okay.
Like I said, it's cross universes because they're not in the same universe. But you give me Punisher, you give me Lobo, and you give me a crossover, and that's LA Knight and Fatu right there, 100. And
Okay.
Lobo's famous for being the last survivor of his planet because he killed them all.
Oh, okay. I,
So
I was gonna ask what his like where he came from or what his
yeah,
thing is.
it's
Okay.
yeah, no, he's like from the planet Zarnia or something. I'm probably mispronouncing it. It's
Mm. I
one of those
think you mean
comic book words you read in
Narnia.
your head, you know.
Yeah.
Not Narnia. It's like Caesarnia or something.
I
One of those
gotcha. I
words
gotcha.
you read in your head as a kid, you make up how it sounds until like you finally hear somebody say it correctly, you know. But yeah, it's I want to see something, dude, and I kind of want to see. I guess SummerSlam's fast enough, but I just like you said, Jacob has this, whatever guy who takes orders, even from Roman, is not working for me. That's why I like that it's already not working. Like he's already like, look, dude, I'm not listening to you. I listen to Roman for now, so really looking forward to that defection. But man, I'd love it if some way LA Knight and Fatu, two guys, like I said, who are just by themselves in a lot of ways. Don't have any faction, like Jacob's been forced to faction, Knight's got no faction. But these guys, they both like have the same like goal. Let's stop the bloodline. Let's stop the vision. Let's stop these things. Oh, it'd be fun.
Well, I don't think that we're gonna see any unlikely formation of a team between LA Knight and Jacob Fatu, but I do think that again, this fatal four way, I think it's coming up on SmackDown, right?
Mm-hmm.
This fatal four way on SmackDown is going to be really important in terms of setting a lot of storylines,
Oh, it
on the
is.
right
So,
course going forward.
like,
But
so far, have you been surprised by King of the Ring across the board?
I mean, outside of Oba, a little bit. I mean,
Even Oba,
Javon.
I was kind of not ready for. I figured like they'd find a way, or Oba would be out the ring and somebody would get pinned since he didn't have to get pinned. You know what I mean? So even Oba kind of
Yeah.
stinks. I thought he was too entrenched in the Brock storyline to be taking that.
Well, and we'll talk more about that when it comes time for our King of the Ring segment in a little bit. But I've been seeing some swirling rumors about Oba Femi and SummerSlam weekend. We'll talk more about later. Now, the Javon Evans one did surprise me a little bit, but I'll tell you why not as much by the end of the match. going into this match, I thought for sure that Seth was going to win because I told you I thought I had Seth going all the way and us getting Seth and Roman at SummerSlam. Now, I was a little shocked that we're not done with Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. I thought we were actually really done with that for now, but I guess we're getting Seth and Braun maybe one more time at Saturday night's main event or at SummerSlam. SummerSlam feels like the best stage for it. But again, I don't really know what WWE is going with right now. So yeah, Javon did surprise me a little bit. Dom did surprise me a little bit,
Yeah,
but
I
also
agree.
not but also, like, not completely surprised, like, he won in the perfect way for Dom to win, you know? It
Oh
it
yeah,
kinda
no, I
made the
mean
most
it was
sense.
total. It was a total dom. And like, look, how much fun is Dom Oba gonna be?
Oh,
I
dude,
mean,
and you know what I love? You know what I've noticed too is no matter how dominant that Oba looks, and no matter how strong that Oba looks, it seems that as the weeks go by, which I do kinda love, more and more guys aren't scared to, like, talk to Oba or like talk trash about Oba, you know? With Dom Mysterio after the match was like, Oba Femi, count your days, I'm coming for you. And you know, we're all laughing at home. We're like, okay, Dom, but like I want to see that stuff. I want guys to be confident. And then in the Fatal Four Way, Solo Sikoa making fun of his strut right in front of Oba. I thought that was brilliant as well. So I like that. I like that this recent match between Oba and Brock kind of even by like 3%, humanized Oba a little bit, a little tiny bit. So I do like that. But yeah, the Oba one didn't really surprise me, but Javon and Dom, yeah, those did. Javon more so than anybody else. But I will say, I feel like sometimes commentary kind of gives these things away because the whole time they were just talking about how much experience Seth has. He has more main event experience than all three of these guys combined. And I was like, okay, something's happening. Like somehow Seth is not going to win this match.
well,
Now,
I'll give Seth credit, man. Like that is one thing like I said, besides just being probably my, like I said, my dude. Like he gets everybody over, man.
yeah,
Like give me somebody Seth is not like he went in there with three dudes younger than him and got them all over. They all look good wrestling Seth. You
yeah,
know?
dude. And I look, I got to be honest, he's been getting a lot of love after this match. Give me Tala Tonga as like the next big man in the company. I love
I've
that
been
guy
waiting
as the
on
big
that, dude.
monster.
I've been waiting on that. Like the whole MFT group, I feel like is hindered by like I don't know if it's their inability to work a mic or whatever. Creative just wants Solo to
Well,
talk.
I was about to say, I think
But
Solo can definitely work a mic,
oh yeah,
but
no. I mean like everybody but Solo.
I got you.
I mean like that's like look what happened to JC Mateo. Did he ever talk?
No,
You
no,
know, I don't know if Tala Tonka's ever talked. You
I don't
know,
think so.
I mean, I think he might have said one or two words. I think maybe, and then the only one who does talk is what Tamatonga.
Right.
Like he's the only one. Otherwise, they're all just. If Tala wasn't 7, 8 feet tall, there'd be nothing to him. So like that's the problem. Like these guys, he's so. But you got to have that at least a little. You don't got to be Obafemi and be huge and have an amazing personality, but you got to have something. You know. So
Yeah.
I mean, I've been waiting, dude. I mean, I think Tala Oba. How is that not a match? Like how is that not something people are crying for? And it's because people don't think about Talo half the time when they should.
Yeah, and I think that we're getting really close to something happening with MFTs, with Tamatanga obviously having some sort of like disgruntled
Right. No, I keep waiting
attitude
for him to
towards
defend.
Solo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if we end up with like a you know, funny enough, commentary mentioned this the other day. Shawn Michaels and Diesel, how Shawn was like the charismatic guy, and then Diesel was like Kevin Nash was like the big, tall powerhouse behind him. I wouldn't be shocked if whenever Tama Tonga defects from the group, if that's kind of what we have between Solo Sokoa and Tala Tonga, is those two running around, and Solo has a championship, and then eventually Tala Tonga just gets tired of his stuff, and now we've got all of them on their solo runs. No pun intended. But yeah, I look. We talked a lot about this already, and we need to talk about King of the Ring later on. But to answer your question, yeah, the King of the Ring tournament has been surprising. It's nothing but young guys that they are buying into and investing in. And then you got this last match on SmackDown where every guy in this match is 40 plus. So this
No
is the
crap. Really? Everybody's 40? I didn't know
yeah,
Finn was that old.
yeah.
Yeah.
Finn's 42, I think, 42 or
No way,
43.
dude. Like I said, man, like Finn. Finn, like I said, Finn just has that body, dude. I'm not jealous of many people's bodies, but God,
Dude,
Finn is just
so Sheamus
incredible.
does these Celtic Warrior workouts where he just works out with people and then they record it and they show everybody's workouts or whatever. Finn was on it recently and showed some of his workouts, and what he'll do is he'll take a bar, right? He'll like just think of a bench press bar. He'll put weights on one side and then leave the other side empty because it engages literally everything because you have to keep the bar straight with weight only on one side. And it's just like I saw that and I was like, well, no wonder this dude looks freaking jacked at 40 something years old.
I
No
mean, dude,
wonder.
he's. I didn't realize. Like, I mean, you could tell me he was like 32 and not 42, and I believe you. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I
He's
mean,
I think a 25-year vet at this point.
no
Crazy.
way, dude. Finn's been around that long. That's crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, he's been in the WWE just since 2012 and was in New Japan before that. And of course, Finn was one of the Finn, Sheamus, Becky Lynch were like the three big Irish people to come out of Ireland that really made the big break. I mean, Sheamus was WWE champion 6 months after his rookie debut. Sheamus was like the first, not the first big guy, but Sheamus was like in terms of like upper echelon of young guys that got pushed really, really fast. Sheamus was that guy and beat John Cena for his first WWE championship at that. So, all right, well, let's jump into talking about the bloodline. Let's stick with them. You know, your big question was when do we see Roman Reigns defend the championship again? And we were talking about it a little bit before we went live, but I don't think that title gets defended again until SummerSlam. I think that they've already made it clear that too many people are talking about going after Roman Reigns. And I don't know. I feel like the verbiage would be I'm going to go after the World Heavyweight Champion or World Heavyweight Championship if the plan wasn't for Roman to just hold it into SummerSlam. So, yeah, to answer your question, I don't think Roman's defending that again until early August,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, no, I feel like that too. But I'm wondering if, like, somebody just slips up and Roman gives them a match.
Mm,
Just somebody like an Austin Theory runs his mouth and Roman's like, I could take you, Austin Theory. I'd take you tonight. You know, I
I
just wonder
wouldn't
if we're
hate
gonna
that.
get. I wonder if we're gonna get anything like that. But just so we get one, so like you give Roman something to do because you're not gonna have him tag. You know, so like what are we having Roman do between now and August? Are we really going to have like a month and a half really of no Roman Reigns, no championship sort of thing happening?
Well, he'll be around, but yeah, I don't think he's defending or really wrestling at all because he'll be on Monday. He'll be on Monday Night Raw next week. So
Okay, so
I
he's just going to be there
yeah.
to just to shoot the shit.
Well, and that's what I was saying about this Fatal 4-Way match coming up for this last King of the Ring qualifier. I think that somehow Jacob Fatu is going to come in and interfere, and it's going to be to the detriment of Jay. Maybe he goes to super kick LA Knight, who Jay Uso is holding or something, and then LA Knight dips out of the way. He super kicks Jay, and then while Jacob is like, "Oh damn, I didn't mean to do that," then LA Knight throws him out or something, and then the go home happens. They end up wrapping up the match there, whoever wins. But
and then
yeah,
and then
so I think
Fatu's like, well, I super kicked Jay. My next move is always a frog splash somebody. I guess I just need to keep going through with it. And then he
right.
frog splashes Jay
Maybe he thinks about it. Maybe he like thinks about going to the top, and Jimmy's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 hey, chill out." But yeah, to answer your question very easily, I don't see Roman defending that title again anytime soon.
See, I want to get one bullshit match between now and August, like I said, against an Austin Theory, against like an Ethan Page, right?
Mhm.
Just somebody he's gonna beat, but would be a fun match and give that guy like an Ethan Page, some WWE roster credit or whatever. Oh, you went 15 minutes with Roman, you made it look good, you almost had him, you know. I don't know. I just like to see that, just off the cuff, something like Ethan Page comes up and insults the bloodline or wants to join the bloodline. Who knows? Ethan Page can do anything. I'm Ethan Page. Don't you want me in the bloodline?
Yeah. Well, look, talking about world championships, let's flip over to the SmackDown side, talking about the WWE champion Cody Rhodes. Now, look, we've obviously had Cody and Gunther embroiled in this feud and everything happening with them, but it looks like Sami Zayn also wants to stay involved in this. Sami Zayn tried to, jump in and get involved and got laid out, albeit by accident, by Cody yet again. And when he tried to voice his displeasure backstage to Nick Aldis, Nick said, "Hey, look, I need you to stay out of their business. And quite frankly, I don't really have time for you right now because I have a meeting. And it just so happened to be with Chad Gable, who we'll talk more about later. Chad Gable going on his apology tour right now. But somebody who's not going on their apology tour right now is Sami Zayn, nor it's Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes saying, hey, look, man, I hate that happened to you, but you got to stay out of my business. You got to stay out of the way. And I think that Sami is really close to snapping. You said, surely we can't be getting a triple threat match, right? I think we are. I think we might be getting a triple threat, and I think it's probably at SummerSlam. Now, I'll tell you why I think we're getting a triple threat match. I think this is to put the title on Gunther without Cody taking the pin. I think this is a really good way for Sami to eat the pin, or submit or pass out from Gunther, and we can take that title off of Cody without him taking a loss. Because look, I'll maintain it every day, and I think most people agree online is that Cody is better when he's chasing that title. When he has it, when he finally gets it, it's like, all right, cool, Cody's champion again, but like, what are we doing now? What's the plan? And I think, I don't know, man. I just don't see any other way that it plays out unless we get like a Saturday night's main event where Cody's like finally like, all right, Sami, fine, I'll give you a shot at the championship, and then we get Cody and Sami. And but the thing is, I think Cody wins that.
Yeah, Cody wins that. No, that's what sucks. No, I'm with you. My only thing with the triple threat match is these guys have such different styles. I'm trying to imagine how all three of them coalesce. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
trying to script this match like it just seems. Don't get me wrong, it can be done, but they all three just seem like three different styles of wrestler. And not like ridiculously different either, but just different enough that I don't know how it flows, but I can see how it ends. And I hate that it ends probably the way you think it's going to end. I think Sami's going to get a haluva kick or something on Cody, right? And Cody's going to be down. It's it. And we finally think this is it. Sammy's going to get it. And then Gunther comes out of nowhere and chokes him out.
That's exactly what's going to happen, Matt. That's exactly how it's going to happen.
I mean,
yeah. And honestly, it could be that Cody and Gunther are, maybe Gunther has Cody locked in the headlock or in the sleeper or whatever. And then Sami finally just says, screw it. And he hits the haluva kick on Cody while he's being held by Gunther. And before he can, he finally says, you know what? I'm taking my kill shot. I don't care if it's Cody. I don't care if it's Gunther. And then before he can capitalize on it, it doesn't even matter. He took the kill shot for nothing because Gunther is right there ready to just grab on to Sami as soon as it happens. And then he passes out. Gunther takes the championship. And then Gunther's standing on the ramp, champion again. And Cody and Sami are recovering in the ring, laying in opposite corners, just staring at each other, seething. And now all of a sudden, where do we go from here? So I think somehow in that vein of existence, that's how it happens. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I can see the end of the match. I just can't see the first 15 minutes now.
Well, triple threat matches are easy too. You do a lot. You get moving around a little bit. Yeah. One guy lays out for a while. Yeah. And with those guys, again, the match could only be 15 minutes, and I think it would do the job. I think it would do them justice. So they'll always find a way. But yeah, I think we are headed towards a triple threat in some way, or Cody and Sami one-on-one, which I really don't want. I'd prefer the triple threat.
I will say it was nice. What was it, Friday for SmackDown? Didn't I text you and I go, that's the biggest pop Sami's gotten in a while.
Yeah, man.
Dude, that had to feel nice for Sami, dude. He's been coming out to nothing but booze lately because of the whole Trick Williams situation and whatnot. Like, I don't think he's heard a cheer in a month.
Hey,
plus.
I love Sami. I don't know if you can see. He's somewhere back there. He's I think that's him. Yeah, that's him right there, right in front of behind the Bray Wyatt auto in his honorary Oos shirt from back in the Bloodline days where he was in it. I've loved Sami for a while. I think he's great, and I think the whole like my day one fans. I think it's really funny.
My ride or die fans.
My ride or dies.
My ride or die fans out there.
Yes.
I know they're out there somewhere.
And I love it. I love the I don't know the term I'm looking for, but he's just his blissful ignorance of like he's like I don't hear the boos, I hear my rider dies, I hear him cheering for me. And Sami's always been great with anything you give him. That's the big reason that Sami got the tag team WrestleMania main event with Kevin Owens was because he got quote unquote relegated down to doing the jackass slapstick match at WrestleMania 38 with Johnny Knoxville. And he did so well with that, took it and ran with it, that WWE was like, all right, we're going to give you something. We're going to let you run with it. And so, look, I think that my perfect scenario ends up with Sami Zayn taking advantage of Cody's, like, he's like, I think if I were booking this in the way I would want it to happen, is Cody has an opportunity to take out Sami, and he kind of questions it, and then Sami's like, screw it, low blow, and then he ends up pinning Cody to take the title. And then he really buys into the whole, you know, heel who is in denial about all the booze he's getting. He said, my ride or dies, I'm the world champion now. You've believed in me this whole time. I would love to see it happen like that. Probably not going to happen like that,
Yeah, no,
but
that's what
that's
I
how
want
I
to
would
see.
love it.
I want Sami to win somehow, but I don't see with Gunther in the match
Right.
how it happens, and I don't see if this happens with a match with Cody before Gunther, how it happens, so
Yeah.
it's like I need, like, I feel like both Gunther and Sami can beat Cody, but both of them cannot beat Gunther. Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like Gunther's going to come out on top, and it sucks because now if Gunther has the title, I've got no faith that Sami and Gunther go head to head that Sami would win. You know, so
Yeah, and I really question if Gunther or Sami does take it from Cody at SummerSlam or beforehand or whenever this match happens, if they're more so a transitional champion. If they're just going to hold it for a short amount of time, kind of like what Drew did before Cody took it right back from him. Well, I hope not. If Sami gets a run, I want it to last at least a few months instead of just like a 30 or 45-day reign. But look, at the end of the day, I'd just like to see Sami holding a world championship at some point in his career before it's all said and done.
I want him to go Darth Zane, man. I want
Yes,
Darth
dude.
Zane. That's what I want.
Yeah, give me Darth Zane. Give it to me. I need it into my veins.
Mm-hmm.
All right, talking about the world championship picture over on SmackDown, let's talk about the guy who was in the world championship scene going into WrestleMania, who we haven't seen since WrestleMania. Talking about Randy Orton. Randy Orton, who we thought was going to be WWE champion coming out of WrestleMania. And then we had the whole storyline with Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll, and it just didn't hit the way that I don't want to say WWE, but the way that TKO thought it was going to hit. And ever since then, we haven't seen Jelly Roll, we haven't seen Pat McAfee, and we haven't seen Randy Orton at all. Now, Pat McAfee, he straight up said, "Look, I think I'm good. You guys are whatever." Pat McAfee is stepping away. He had already stepped away for a while and said he was taking a break.
That he was kind of done, and then they kind of got him to come back, and then
they paid him a lot of money. Yeah. They paid him so much money. He was like, "Okay, I guess."
Kind of like what they did to Brock.
But yeah, whenever college football season started, he was like, "Look, man, I've got a brand new baby girl at home. I'm already so busy. I'm strung out really thin. I just need a break." Which, hey, as a dad, I get it, man. As a guy who doesn't travel across the country for a living, sometimes I feel like I don't have enough time with my kids. So I can only imagine what some of these people feel. So, I didn't enjoy Pat's involvement in the WrestleMania main event scene, but that doesn't all necessarily fall on Pat. Obviously, he's just doing what he's paid to do, and
and he did it well, man. Like I said, he made Randy a heel, or at least himself a heel, when there was no heel.
Yeah, honestly,
So.
or you can argue that they should have just done the swap, and Cody should have been the heel from whenever Randy got involved.
Like
Yeah,
I said, I mean, I'm definitely waiting for the real American Nightmare to show up, not the
yeah.
American Dream we've had.
We need Cody Lander. We need Cody Lander. So, so look, where has Randy Orton been in terms of being on the show at all? He's just been gone. From what I've heard, he's had some more nagging back injuries and he was really sore after WrestleMania, so he just took some time. But I think it's just like CM Punk. These are two of the older guys on the roster. They had been running for quite a bit in terms of like on the road every single week and then being involved in WrestleMania main event feuds. And now that those feuds are done, I think that just gave them a bit of a break. And I think you're going to see more and more of this from Randy and Punk as they wind down towards the end of their careers. But I think Randy should be back soon enough. But yeah, in terms of how long, I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. Where's he been? I'm assuming at home, resting up, chilling. But and nursing some of these nagging back injuries that he's just been plagued with since he had that back surgery a few years ago. So I hope he's getting better soon. I hope he's all good. I hope he's super healthy and comes back even more jacked than he was before because he was already jacked to the gills. So
He can't get
look,
much more jacked.
yeah, I don't know, man. Hey, look, he was talking about how they said his weight one week on TV, and he was like, "Add 10 to that because I'm bigger than that." So let him shed like 10 or 15 pounds and see how shredded he really looks, you know. But similar to Sami Zayn, a guy that should be holding a world championship. I know Randy's had a ton of them already, but like we've got to get another world title on Randy Orton. It's been so long since he's had one.
And that's a guy that can beat Gunther. That you bring in, I believe he
True.
can beat Gunther. You know, so yeah, maybe that's where they're going. They'll bring him back and he'll beat Gunther. You know, and then he'll be like Cody, Cody,
Mm.
I've got the championship, Cody. You know,
Yeah, I mean, oh
maybe
man, is
Sami
there a
Zayn illuminates
possibility?
him then. You know, and
So
steals it.
so here you go. You've awoken an idea in my brain about where I want this to go now. I want the triple threat match to happen. I want Sammy to take advantage of Cody's kindness, and then Gunther ends up winning that title. And then you're right. I think Randy Orton is maybe the one guy that not necessarily could beat Gunther, but I think that fans want to see beat Gunther. I think that he's the guy that fans are clamoring for. That getting us a Randy Orton return like on the SmackDown after SummerSlam would be perfect, I think. And then post SummerSlam, we've got Randy and Gunther in a feud, and then Cody and Sami in a feud, you know, figuring out their stuff. And then come WrestleMania next year, maybe Randy is the champion. And instead of Randy and Cody going into WrestleMania like they did this year, it's inverse and it's flopped. And now we get the repeat Cody, Randy 2 at WrestleMania, but now Randy's the babyface, and maybe Cody is finally, you know, giving into those heelish tactics and ways. And I don't know. I've learned not to bet money on a Cody Rhodes heel turn because I'd be
Yeah,
homeless by now.
right,
But
right, yeah.
yeah, ideally I would love to see that happen.
Dude, I think Randy Orton and Gunther would cut amazing promos together too.
True, very
I think
true.
I think they'd be so good. So all right,
Well,
yeah.
and then getting heat on Gunther is as easy as him just attacking Randy's back. You know, it really is that simple.
I mean, well, there's just something about Randy's cadence. Like, you know, I think it works better with Gunther's cadence than Cody's does. Like Cody's got just the way like people can sometimes like I think that's kind of like Jade and Rhea's problem is they're way too different in their speaking styles because their matches are incredible, you
Yeah,
know. So I think it might just be that, you know, Jade's got a certain style and it's growing. Don't get me wrong, she's getting better on the mic. I mean, it's partially that, but I just think, you know, sometimes they get two singers together and they sound incredible, and you have two singers who are incredible. You put them together and they sound awful together. You know,
yeah. And you're
and
like,
I think
ooh,
that's you know, I don't. I'm not saying that Cody and Gunther are putting together awful promos. I'm just saying that I think Gunther and Randy put together some amazing promos. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, well, we're going to stick into the championship scene, but we're going to switch back over to Raw. We're going to go to the women's side, to the women's intercontinental championship scene. Sol Ruka just had a successful title defense against Lyra Valkyria on Monday Night Raw this past week. Great match. She finally hit that Soul Snatcher clean. It was very clean. Good job, Soul. I thought that they did a really good job of having Lyra like sell for just a little second and then giving Soul some time to like wind up and actually hit it perfectly, and it looked great. And I thought this match was really fun. These two have good chemistry. They're both excellent in the ring. I think that as great as Sol Ruka is, I think that she even has another level that she could step it up to in the ring. And look, man, I love Sol, and the surfer gimmick is cool. I get it. She's from Hawaii. She was born there, whatever. But I'm really curious to see after this initial like rookie run for Sol Ruka, what is next for her. Because I think she's got a lot of potential past this surfer gimmick. And it's cool and all that. I get the kids love it. But I just think she has a lot of potential. And whenever you ask how long does she hold the title, how long or who takes it from her, I actually don't think that this is going to be a terribly long run for her. And you're going to love this, Matt. I think that Ivy Nile is the one to take the championship off of Sol Ruka eventually.
really,
Yes,
really,
I think
wow.
that
How'd you get to
before.
that? How'd you get there?
Well, I think that she was already kind of getting herself involved in the Intercontinental Championship scene. She already had a title match earlier this year against Maxine, and every time Ivy Nile goes out, she impresses. And backstage reports say that she's earning a lot of favor backstage. A lot of people love her work. And then her working directly with Chad Gable for a while, and now how over Chad Gable is. I just wouldn't be shocked if when I look at the when I look at the landscape of the heels in the mid card scene, right? Like I think Becky is stepping up. I think she's done. Liv Morgan, Raquel, and Roxanne obviously are not involved in the Intercontinental Championship scene at all. There's not a lot of heels left in terms of like who's stuck in that mid card scene. And I think that Ivy Nile is a woman that has been begging to break through that glass ceiling. And I think that her getting a feud against Sol Ruka, who just had a successful title defense against the first ever women's intercontinental championship in Lyra Valkyria. I don't know, man. I just feel like this is a reign where Sol Ruka, look, she doesn't have to hold it forever. She's so young and so new. You could have her hot potato in the championship between Ivy and herself. I wouldn't be shocked if Sol Ruka has like 3 women's intercontinental championship reigns by this time next year. I want to see that title hot potato around a little bit. I want to see more women hold it. I want to start establishing more names in the lineage of this championship. So when I look at the landscape, yeah, I really like Ivy Nile to swoop in and maybe be women's intercontinental championship like post SummerSlam, maybe at SummerSlam. I'm not sure. I'd be a little. I'm a little concerned that maybe the women's intercontinental championship won't make the SummerSlam card just because the big
Right.
four cards just get so packed so fast. But maybe the Raw after SummerSlam, yeah, Ivy Nile could very much be your women's intercontinental champion. I think.
Hey, look, I don't hate that at all, especially if Chad Gable is working his way into the men's intercontinental, championship. It could be an American made Golden Summer, you know. I didn't even think about Ivy now. And I guess you're right. The Queen of the Ring has kind of moved pieces around, yeah, like Raquel maybe I guess isn't in it anymore. I guess Roxanne isn't in it. I didn't think about that. And you're right. I don't know who the other heels are. I'm like, is Io Sky still in it? Because Io was going for it at one point too, you know, going for the mid card out of nowhere. Like they took her, they brought her down. But so I know if Io was going for it. I don't know, but I'm with you. I feel like it's going to bounce around. I don't see Ruga having it for long, but I don't see that being like something that's a negative thing. I see
Yeah.
it like you said. It's going to be kind of, but you just shrunk my pool of candidates for the women's intercontinental title. That's the real problem. Is I had a whole grouping, and you just shrunk it down. So now I'm just gonna go with what you said. I like Ivy now. Let's run with
Well,
it.
and a lot of the mid card heel women are on the SmackDown side. You look at what's their name? I can't remember the stable name, but like JC Jane in her stable, Kiana James. Let me see. And like I said, Becky Lynch, she's definitely stepping up to the world championship
Right,
scene. Like
right.
I don't see her staying. I mean, maybe, but I don't know what's next for Becky if it's not the Intercontinental Championship scene because she just lost in the Queen of the Ring. So who knows what's next for Becky actually? But yeah, if you're asking me to place money on it, if you want me to throw $5 on a random name, Ivy Nile. I think that Ivy Nile makes a lot of sense.
Man, I hope, dude. Like I said, I'm like the biggest Ivy now supporter. So
Well, she's gaining a lot more support, so you were a little early to the train because a lot of people are starting to jump on with you. Look, we talked about American Made. Let's stay with American Made. Let's stay with Chad Gable. But I gotta say, man, I think that American Made might be their days might be numbered. Chad Gable's going on this apology tour, and it looks like he is full on babyface now. I've got to imagine that American Made is going to disagree with the new stance of Chad Gable and this new babyface attitude that he has. I don't know that, especially whenever he apologizes to Alpha Academy, because that's coming. He's already apologized to Ray Phoenix. He apologized to Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, and Penta about how he treated the Mexican tradition of lucha
right,
wrestling.
right.
And, Ray told him, hey, we're good. I've heard your apologies. I hear you, but you know that there's somebody else you need to apologize to. And we all knew that that's American Alpha. And so, or sorry, Alpha Academy, my bad. So I'm assuming next week we're going to get the apology to Alpha Academy from Gable to Otis and Tozawa. And I'm assuming when that apology happens, American Made will probably come up and say, what the hell, Chad? I thought we were on the same page. We wore these stupid masks for you, blah, blah, blah. And so I think that American Made is probably on the way to separating themselves from Chad Gable and being
All
their
right.
own thing. And so I still think that there's a possibility that the Creed brothers and Ivy hold championship gold. I think it's just without Chad Gable. So that being said, he's on his apology tour, Chad Gable, that is. but your question that you posed is he's obviously coming for the Intercontinental Championship scene, right? And I think yes, but I think that now it doesn't necessarily have to be obviously the taking down of luchadors. I think it's a more respectful tone that we're going to take. And again, we talked about a multi-man match probably happening. There's so many names embroiled in it now. We're going to talk about Rusev and Ethan Page, but I don't know that they're long to be like a cohesive tag team,
Right,
especially
right.
if the Intercontinental Championship gets involved. And now we have Penta, Chad Gable, Rusev, Ethan Page, and then I don't know that Rey Mysterio would still be involved with that at all, but there are a lot of names now being thrown in this mix. So yeah, I do think that he's coming after Penta, and if you're asking me when, I think SummerSlam makes the most sense. It's in his hometown. He's also from Minneapolis, same as Brock Lesnar, and yeah, I think that 2 years ago, Chad Gable probably should have been Intercontinental Championship. So it's about time to pull the trigger. And I was listening to Santi's app yesterday, and I think I agree with him. If they don't pull the trigger now, I unfortunately think that it's safe to say they're never going to on
Oh, I
Chad.
mean, yeah, I mean, Gable's what can't be bigger than he is right now, technically in the wrestling
Yeah,
world.
no, and I don't think ever has been. So it's now or never. In these next few months, you've got to pull the trigger on Chad Gable being Intercontinental Champion. And I don't even know that you necessarily need to wait till SummerSlam. If you feel that he's over enough, have him take the title out of Saturday night's main event coming up. So I think that Gable should be the Intercontinental Champion, but I think that he and American Made are destined to split ways very, very, very soon.
Okay, well, I didn't think about the American made split. So you got me there. I didn't think about that, that this apology tour might rub the Creed brothers the wrong way and whatnot. I thought, him and Ivy now so tight. Like I'd be shocked, that if she, left. But at the same time, tell me, man, like Intercontinental title, isn't it maybe the most fun, like quagmire in all of WWE? Like you said, look at all the guys we got in there: Rusev, Ethan Page, Dragon Lee, Penta, Chad Gable, probably some guys I'm not naming. Like as we were talking about. So it is, and I guess what Javon Evans, right? I mean,
Yeah, well, he's wrapped up in the King of the
I
Ring
know he's in
tournament
King of the
now,
Ring, but
but
still, he's
yeah,
technically,
technically, yeah, yeah.
I mean, so it's just how much fun this is because it felt like it had a direction, and then Chad Gable kind of skews it a little bit because I'm curious how it's going to go. But yeah, they got to give the title, and I hope they give it to him before SummerSlam. I hope we don't wait. As much as I love Penta, it's not going to hurt Penta at all to take it off of him. Put it on Chad Gable, and then I'd love to see either then a 6-man or 8-man match at SummerSlam, or I'd really like to see Gable and Rusev. I'd like to see it like all of a sudden Gable becomes like the defenders of the luchadors, even though he's not a
Mm.
luchador anymore, he's like the defender of the luchadors. And Rusev seems to be like the biggest prick towards the luchadors right now. So I'd love to see those two guys tee off. And I think that would be, I mean, like Gable and Rusev, I feel like they're like the equal strength, except Gable's like a foot shorter, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like if you put those guys up like in a bench press contest, they're putting up the same numbers. So I just love to see that match where Rusev's just surprised by Gable's strength, or something. I don't
Mm.
know. And then also his luchador ability ends up winning the match, or some move that he learned, in lucha, ends up winning the match. That's what I want to see. And I'm with you. Like, I'm with you. I'm with Santi. We got to give it to him now. Like, let's not wait till SummerSlam. I don't need 2 months of an apology tour, like I need like 2 more weeks. And then, yeah, give it to me on a Saturday night main event. Or, I mean, hell, technically, Raw on Netflix, it feels like a PLE some nights, or even better than a PLE because you'll get like 6 matches sometimes, In a PLA, you might get 4 and it lasts 2 hours. Like I think the last
Yeah.
Saturday night main event was only 2 hours, right? So
Yeah, and then on some Raws, you get these matches like Ray and Penta on a random Monday Night
that's what
Raw.
I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just give me that match, Ray and I mean not Ray, Penta and Gable, and make it incredible because you can. Because obviously both those guys have the ability, and give it and let Gable have until SummerSlam. And then who knows, maybe Rusev wins. God, dude, there's so much you can do with the Intercontinental title right now. Because I feel like all those guys deserve it,
Yeah, and I mean, you could even have Gable
except
winning
for
it.
Ethan Page.
Well, hey, I like Ethan Page. I think he's good.
I
He
do. I
reminds
just
me
don't
a
think he
lot
deserves it yet. You know.
He reminds me a lot of young Randy Orton, like early 2000s Randy Orton when he was like starting to come up to Evolution and all that stuff. He reminds me a lot of young Randy Orton because he look he talks a shit and he
Right.
believes in himself more than anybody else, and I respect that about a lot about a heel that backs up what he says. So I wouldn't be shocked if jumping to the next point you had because we already talked about them a lot. I wouldn't be shocked if Rusev and Ethan Page are actually in the tag team scene for a while before one of them holds the Intercontinental title. Maybe
Okay.
out of this, neither one of them wins the championship because it's going to be Gable. But I wouldn't be surprised in a lacking tag team division if all of a sudden Ethan Page and Rusev are randomly tag team champions in a few months because we talked about Braun Breaker and Seth still being involved with each other. What the hell is happening with the tag team titles now?
Yeah, I was about
Because
to say, like, technically it's what it's Theory and Braun now, but
yep,
I mean, because how long is Logan Paul out for?
probably the rest of the year.
I mean, yeah, dude, did you see that series?
Torn tricep.
Did you see that skull? Or, I saw pictures.
I didn't see the picture of any of the post op, but I remember when the move happened where Dawkins landed on him, and I remember thinking like, "Ooh, that was awkward." But then whenever I found out he tore his tricep, I was like, "Damn!" But also, did you hear the what he said that was his karma for making fun of CM Punk? He was like, because he made fun of CM Punk, he's like, "Oh, my little tricep! Oh, I tore my tricep!" And then a few months later, a year and a half later, whatever, he tears his damn tricep, and he's like, I'm never making fun of anybody ever again
Yeah,
because
don't
this
make fun
shit
of an injury
sucks.
ever again in a sport that you play.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was like, this sucks. I wouldn't wish this on anybody. But I did see a clip of him on his Impulsive podcast where he had like the whole rig on and all that stuff. So,
Yeah, no, I saw
yeah,
his like a pre and post surgery. Like the thing was just, it looked like a raw steak. His arm did. You know what I'm
I could
saying?
only
Oh,
imagine, dude.
yeah.
Did you ever see the clip of when Cody, I think it was his bicep he tore, maybe it was his tricep.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. His whole black and blue
Dude,
ribs.
oh
Oh yeah.
my god, and he just wrestled a whole
Well, he
Hell in a
wrestled
Cell
on it.
match.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, a Hell in a Cell match against Seth, dude.
Seth. Yeah, yeah.
Like,
That's yeah.
and still won and went
That's
up
because Seth's a
3-0.
nice guy.
Seth's a great guy. He knows how to put people over,
He
man.
knows how to put people over.
Hey, Seth didn't need the wins, but Cody was just coming back from the other company, and
Ah.
Cody needed him. So, shout out to Seth. But yeah, so Intercontinental Championship scene on the men's side, opposite of the women's scene. The women's scene, it kind of feels like there's only a few names that are going to be going after that title right now. The men's side, it feels like anybody could. It feels like a lot of names. So really excited about the men's or the Intercontinental Championship scenes on both sides because I think those are going to carry a lot of Raw for the next few months while Roman's not defending that title at all. So
And I need more Dragon Lee in my life, man. Like I don't
same,
want him
man.
to get lost, dude. Like I want him to stay in the picture, even if he's not winning it. Or get him and Penta to tag finally. I don't know something, but don't lose me, Dragon Lee, dude. Like I feel like he's always just he's there and then he's gone, then he's there.
Yeah, well, if I want to see Penta tag with anybody, we need to finally see him tag with Ray, his brother, Ray
Oh
Phoenix.
yeah, no, yeah,
So
yeah. But
we
is
need
he
to see
just
that.
is he back on AAA now technically, or
Who,
is
Ray? Ray
yeah
Phoenix?
Ray?
Yeah, he just won a championship with them.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
about to
sure
say
which one.
he's back. I didn't know that. Yeah, so
I'm not sure of all their championships. I know the AAA Mega Championship, which Dom holds, which uh, take the title off that dude already because I love Dom, but he does not defend that damn thing.
well, we talked
But
about who we think is going to take it, so or
yeah,
who should
well,
take it. Yeah.
I was telling our good friend Donnie, who's a listener of the show, I said, hey man, months ago, before El Grande Americano, the Kaiser version, got so massive, I said that he should have been the one to take it off of Dom. And now it looks like we're probably working towards that. So yeah, I think that El Grande Americano, the only El Grande Americano now, should be the one to take the title off of Dom for the show.
All right. So speaking of Dom, let's officially talk King of the Ring, my man.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Dom and Oba, dude. This
Count your days, Obafemi.
dude, what a great like promo for the match too, with JD coming up behind
Boom.
and hits and doesn't even react. He turned around, dude. He hit the chair with his hand. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And he like dented the chair with his hand. I mean, Oba's just so this match. Look, I am all ready for all the shenanigans, dude. This match feels like it's going to be a cartoon, like a Tom and Jerry sort of cartoon, except Jerry wins, or Tom. I guess
Yeah.
Tom's the cat, right? Tom
Yeah.
wins. I don't know. What do you think? Tell me, man. Because you we both have Dom winning because of shenanigans, right? But
Well, here's the thing that that I was alluding to earlier is I've been seeing a lot of rumors about Oba in terms of what's going to happen with this King of the Ring tournament. Now, my brain tells me that Brock Lesnar's getting involved at some point in this tournament. But some people think that he's not and that Oba is maybe heading towards maybe the craziest SummerSlam weekend for any wrestler ever. There's a lot of rumors swirling now that Oba's going to win King of the Ring and he's going to face Roman Reigns night 2 of WrestleMania. But there's also rumors that Oba's going to pull double duty and he's going to retire Brock Lesnar night 1 and then beat Roman Reigns night 2 for the World Heavyweight Championship. Dude, could you imagine a more strap the rocket catapulting moment making or star making moment than that? Like, imagine what that does for Obafemi. If he retires Brock Lesnar in the same weekend that he beats the tribal chief, and not only would he beat the tribal chief, he would ideally fight off the entire bloodline to do it. He would fight off Jay. He would fight off Jimmy. He would fight off Fatu. And then at the end, he would still stand tall over the tribal chief, beat on the chest of Roman Reigns, holding the title up, sent Brock Lesnar packing in his hometown. And now the ruler is here because Oba set a line on Monday Night Raw that I think threw all of my other predictions out the window about anyone else winning this. He says, "What's a ruler without a crown? What is a ruler without his crown on his throne?" And I'm like, damn it, Oba might win the whole thing. And like, obviously, Oba's like a big favorite for a lot of people. But when I look at the landscape of the rest of the tournament, I think that the only other guy that stands a chance to win this is at the bottom right of the bracket. And that's where I'm going to finally now give my prediction for that fatal 4-way match. There's only one guy in this whole buildup to this King of the Ring tournament that actually has a feud and is actually involved with the world champion. Do you know who that is? LA Knight. LA
yeah,
Knight is
yeah.
the only one that's involved with the bloodline, with Roman Reigns, and with everything going on right now involved in that.
Jay
So
technically, right? I mean,
yeah, but I
not
think
the
that
feud, but
Jay and Jacob are on the crash course to SummerSlam, and
right.
I just don't see Jay and Roman, and I don't see Jay and Cody. I don't see either of those happening. While Jay and Cody would be entertaining, I think that you would have to very quickly pivot a lot of storylines that just wouldn't make a lot of sense right now.
I mean, what if it became Cody gave Sami a shot, Sami beats Cody, and then it's Jay and Sami?
That would be really cool, but again, you got to pivot a lot of stuff. Now we're taking Jay away from all the stuff that's happening with the bloodline right now, and so ideally, what
Right. No, I
I
don't have
see
Jay winning
happening
this, so it's fine. I don't even know why I'm arguing. I don't have Jay winning it by any shape.
now, let's assume that Oba doesn't have this mega superstar weekend where he beats Brock and he beats Roman. Let's say it comes down to the tournament finals. Ref gets knocked out. It's Oba Femi. It's LA Knight on one side. And then we have, again, ref gets knocked out. That's when Brock Lesnar finally shows up in Saudi Arabia. He lays out Oba Femi. LA Knight comes in, hits his move to take out all of a sudden I'm blanking on the name of LA Knight's finisher. The BFT, is that it?
Yeah, the BFT. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he takes out Obafemi and then LA Knight goes on to face Roman Reigns at SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now the one concern I have with all this is in this entire field, I feel like Oba is the only guy that would actually beat Roman Reigns. I feel like they would just be building up LA Knight to just lose again.
So LA Knight goes to take on Roman Reigns at SummerSlam with the bloodline out there, and then what? Jacob turns on Roman, LA wins, and LA and Jacob form a duo. Boom!
Well, I think it would, I don't think the duo would happen. But I do love the idea of Jacob finally being like, I've had enough of this, and especially if Jacob loses to Jay and Roman's like, all right, now you have to fall in line. Now you have no choice. And Jacob says, you know what? I actually do have a choice and just flips the double bird to both of them or to all of them and is like, I'm just going to go do my own thing anyways. And then we get the whole do rest of the bloodline feud. But yeah, I think that LA Knight is the only other guy outside of Obafemi that I have making sense, excuse me, to win this whole thing. So with the idea that Brock Lesnar is going to show up at Night of Champions and cost Obafemi the King of the Ring champion or tournament win, I think my pick to win the whole damn thing is LA Knight. I think I've got to go with LA Knight because it just makes sense. Like again, he's the only guy embroiled in the feud with any of the bloodline and with Roman Reigns. And also, you talk about comparing him to the Punisher a lot. He's been showing a lot of Punisher esque, attributes lately, especially him like talking to Adam Pierce the way he does, or he has been the last few weeks.
I'm
So
telling you, we need to tweet at LA Knight and get him to get a Punisher outfit, dude. I'm telling you,
yeah.
he needs a Punisher outfit for this upcoming storyline.
Have
I'm
you
telling
watched
you.
his CVV interview yet?
No, oh, I
But
forgot
you
to
got
get.
to
No,
do it.
I gotta
It's
do
so
that.
good, man. It's so good. He goes in to detail about a lot of stuff that a lot of fans have had questions about, and it's a really good interview. I think you should definitely go watch it, especially you being an LA Knight fan. You should. But yeah, man, when I look at the King of the Ring tournament, I see Oba and Dom, and I see Javon, and I'm assuming LA Knight. Oba versus LA Knight in the finals makes the most sense. Brock Lesnar showing up to cost Oba, LA Knight winning, in the light of all that, and then going on to face Roman at SummerSlam makes sense to me. I'm just nervous that LA isn't going to end up losing that match, and I just
Which one? The one against Roman or the one
yeah,
against
against
Oba?
Roman, against
Yeah,
Roman,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and I just feel like again we built all that up for what?
Right.
So I don't know. I'm really nervous about it, but yeah, if you're making me bet money, like I said, I'm picking LA Knight to win the whole thing somehow.
So what odds do you give Dom winning and then Finn winning, and we get Dom and Finn in the finals for the King of the Ring?
Almost zero
Really?
because
Okay.
because again, if you want to have the most predictable outcome, sure.
I mean,
Because
is that
I
predictable? Okay.
well, no, predictable in terms of they're going to go on to face Roman to get absolutely destroyed. There's no way either of those guys
You
beat
don't think
Roman.
Finn can do
Absolutely zero.
Roman? Okay.
Absolutely not. 10 years
I didn't
ago,
know.
maybe. No,
I didn't
no,
know. I mean, yeah. I mean,
no.
I figured.
I think
What
that if
about
they're
Demon now? The demon can't take on Roman.
the demon did, and they almost neutered the demon when they did that last time
Oh
he
yeah.
faced Roman Reigns. Well, he went up for his coup de grace, and whenever he went to go jump, the top turnbuckle broke, and after the fact, they called it an act of God, and it's like.
Was it or was it planned or did they plan to?
No, it
Did
was
he?
planned. They
Did you?
scripted it, and then
Okay.
they called it an act of God after the fact. As an act of God was the only way to stop the demon, and it's like, don't give me that shit, man. It was the dumbest thing that I've ever seen them do. I say that they've done a lot of dumb stuff, but I just don't think that anybody in the tournament outside of LA Knight and Obafemi has a chance of even
No, I'm
sniffing
with you
that
there.
title.
Except Finn, I didn't realize Finn didn't have a chance. Like, I mean, I would say LA Knight, Finn, Oba, and until Seth got eliminated, Seth. You know,
Yeah.
so
I feel like Finn would stand a chance if it was anybody but Roman Reigns on the other side of it. I just don't. I think that Roman is such an upper echelon of superstar that there's literally a handful of people that could realistically beat him at any given time, and two of those guys just so happen to be Obafemi and if booked correctly, LA Knight. But I even think LA Knight is like barely there. I think that you can even argue that LA Knight isn't one of those guys that could beat Roman Reigns on any given moment. But his momentum is so hot right now. They've gotten him embroiled in the storyline, so it just kind of makes sense. But with Finn and Dom, I just can't see it. Now, if this match were for like a different show or for like a smaller PLE, I could maybe see that. But for SummerSlam, I think it's got to be Oba or it's got to be LA Knight. I think those are the only two that make sense for me.
all right. What about the women's side, man? What about Queen of the Ring? Like, what are we doing here, dude? Like, we got Raquel and Liv both moving on. I mean, are we gonna end
Yeah,
with a Judgment Day final somehow? What are you thinking here?
I first of all, let me pick my winner for the Fatal 4-Way match. I think it's got to be Charlotte Flair. I think Charlotte Flair's got to win that Fatal 4-Way
Okay.
match. As
Right.
much as I love Lyra, as much as I love Sol Ruka, and as much as I do like Jade Cargill, I just don't think that Jade won it last year, so I can do without Jade. And then the other two, again, I think they're kind of stuck in the tag team and intercontinental championship scenes, respectively, and Lyra kind of both,
Well,
really.
I mean, I was kind of shocked that, like, that we just got Soul and Lyra when they're going to be in the Queen of the Ring, qualifier. I didn't realize that we were going to get them kind of back to back like that so quickly.
Yeah, and maybe this leads to a rematch between the two. And I don't know because I feel like Lyra wouldn't take the title off of Soul that quickly.
Right.
I know I
Yeah.
said I know I said I feel like Soul's gonna lose it, but I just don't feel like Lyra's gonna be the woman to take it from her. So to pick my winner of that Fatal 4-Way, yeah, I'm going with Charlotte. So that leaves us with Liv Morgan, Charlotte Flair against Io and Raquel. Now
Well,
Io,
I still want to go back to this fatal four way though.
yeah,
Now Charlotte wins it because, like I said, it's no holds barred. Of course, I mean, you don't think Jade's going to get like B Fab and Meechum out there? You don't think? I mean, is Alexa going to come out? Is Rhea going to like? How much? How many? I guess extracurriculars you think we're going to have in this match between just those two?
I think
And
there'll
then
be a good bit. Yeah.
and then what's the new trios? The new evil trio of ladies?
I keep forgetting their name. I was talking about them. JC Jane's stable is
Yeah.
who you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Fatal Influence.
Yeah. Fatal influence. Yeah. I mean, are
Yeah,
they going to
I
pop
kept
up?
on Fatal Attraction because I think that was their name in NXT when they had Gigi Dolan. But yeah, I do think that. Excuse me. I do think that there's going to be a good bit of involvement in this match. I don't think that Fatal Influence is necessarily going to get involved, but wouldn't be shocked if God, now I can't remember Meechin and BFABs
Or do
stable
they
name.
have do they have a name by
I
themselves?
I think they had a name, for a stable, but anyways, I do think that there's gonna be a lot of interference and a lot of shenanigans in this match, but I think that Charlotte Flair comes out on top because I think that we're heading towards a lot of implosions at the after the end result of all this. So when I look at Liv Morgan and I look at Raquel Rodriguez being on opposite sides, I wouldn't be shocked if somehow Liv in the Judgment Day or Raquel in the Judgment Day, vice versa, cost either or both of them their matches, at the sake of trying to help. But we've seen the last few weeks, Raquel and Roxanne have not been liking the way that Liv has been talking about them and has been putting herself above them on a pedestal. They've really been voicing their displeasure with their body, language and their facial features, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, no.
So
There's definitely like some like what we like each other, not really.
right, right, right. We've just been together so long that we're starting to notice the little things that piss each other off. Is what it really feels like. So when I look at that, I kind of feel like we're heading towards a Judgment Day implosion. So I think that Liv Morgan and Raquel are actually going to lose those matches, and I think that maybe we're going to get Liv and Raquel finally at SummerSlam. I think it's finally going to happen. Now that leaves us with Charlotte and Io Sky.
That
Now,
that
who
opens all sorts of weird cans.
exactly, dude? Exactly. And who is the champion outside of Liv Morgan that they would probably be going after? Rhea Ripley. So now you've got Rhea's new friend in Charlotte, and you've got Rhea's best friend in Io Sky, with Rhea Ripley on the horizon of who's going to finally face her. Now, if you're asking me to put money, if you're asking me to pick today, even though she hasn't won her match yet, so Friday's going to roll around, she's not going to win. I'm going to look like an idiot. But I think that Charlotte Flair wins the whole thing and goes on to face Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam. Now, you said that opens up a whole can of worms, like a whole can of possibilities. And I said before we got into this that I think that there are a lot of implosions on the horizon. I think that Charlotte Flair actually stands a really good chance. Obviously, she's Charlotte Flair to beat Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam. And I think that with the budding friendship between Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, I think it's going to be a match of respect, of mutual respect. I don't think there's going to be any heat between the two. I think they're obviously going to be competitive individuals, but I think it's going to be a pretty straightforward match. But Alexa Bliss, who has not held a world championship in, I don't want to try to take a guess, but I think it's been like 5 or 6 years. It's been a long time since Alexa Bliss held a championship. Now, all of a sudden, Charlotte Flair, her best friend, when no one else wanted to be friends with Charlotte, who did? It was Alexa. Now she's watching Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley all of a sudden become buddy buddy and have this respect going against each other at SummerSlam. That pisses Alexa off. She's pissed about this now. So I just wouldn't be shocked if after Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam, Charlotte standing tall, Alexa Bliss comes in and celebrates with her and attacks Charlotte Flair, lays her out, and she makes the call that she's coming for that championship from Charlotte Flair, and their friendship is over. The one we've been calling it for months. It's been on the horizon for months. The backstabbing that we've all been waiting to happen, And we've all been saying we don't think it's going to be Charlotte Flair. She has already shown that she now trusts Alexa. She has the utmost trust in Alexa, more than anybody in the world. And Alexa has been fine for the most part, but you can see, again, like I mentioned with the Judgment Day, Alexa has had some body language that kind of infers that she maybe isn't happy with Charlotte. Maybe she's getting more annoyed with Charlotte. And now she's watching her best friend, when no one else wanted to be friends with her, with Rhea Ripley, who Charlotte just hated a year ago, who Alexa had to force to team together, basically. And so, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Charlotte Flair is the winner of all this, and then Charlotte Flair becomes, man, I think at this time it'd be a 15-time world champion now, and by defeating Rhea Ripley, and then after the fact, Alexa finally is like, you know what? Let's do it. And finally turns on Charlotte. So give me Charlotte Flair to win the Fatal 4-Way. Give me Charlotte to beat Liv. Give me Io to beat Raquel. Give me Charlotte and Io in the finals with Charlotte winning, and then over Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam. So I think Charlotte's going to go all the way and win that title at SummerSlam. And so then at SummerSlam for our women's championships, for the women's world championships, we've got Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, and we've got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, finally with the implosion of the Judgment Day. So those are my two. If you're asking me to fantasy book it, that's how I'm booking it. Those are my two world championship matches for the women.
Well, I mean, I think you about hit the nail cleanly on the head across the board there. The only thing I might say is that I don't think if Charlotte and Rhea come out of it friends. I think that they. I think it's more that I think the match between Charlotte and Io gets ugly. You know, I think. Look, I mean, like you said, it's Rhea's quote unquote best friend right now versus Charlotte, who she kind of maybe likes for a second. And I think this match could get ugly. Like, I don't know, maybe Charlotte does something unscrupulous to win, or takes advantage of something, whatever. Or maybe Io just gets hurt and it's an accident and Rhea just blames Charlotte. I see Charlotte beating Rhea, and I don't see Rhea being happy about it. I don't see Rhea being like copacetic with anybody who beats her. But I could see,
not to cut you off, but I think that's actually a really good shout. I could see maybe Io like tweaking her leg or her knee or her ankle or something, and Charlotte's like maybe doesn't hurt her on purpose or whatever, but just takes advantage of the injury, and that rubs Charlotte the wrong way. I think that's a really good shout, Matt. I think it's a really good shout.
Yeah, no. So then, like you said, so I'm with you though. I think Charlotte beats Rhea. I hate it. You know how much I love Rhea. I'm going to take Charlotte because this is where this story needs to go. Because I'm with you, and I think Charlotte's just so into herself. She's so about me that's what sets Alexa off. Not that she's friends with Rhea or that da 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 da. Is that she's so about me and how much everybody loves me, and it's me, 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 me. And Alexa just goes, Pop, you selfish, whatever. I've tried for months to get you to be an us person. You're not, you want to talk about me. Yeah, I'm coming for that. I think it's, the fact that, like I said, like I said, remember what was it? The Valentine's Day gifts or whatever she gave Alexa, and they were all like autographed pictures of her and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, I think
she was like, those are worth a lot of money, Alexa. Those are worth a lot of money, Lexi. I signed those for you. They're signed to you. Those are worth a lot of money. For people pay a lot for those.
So
yeah.
I think it's more that. I think it's more that it becomes that she talks about her and how much everybody loves her and doesn't give Alexa any credit at all. And Alexa's like, nobody loved you until I loved you.
I could buy into that.
I think it's more that. Like, so I think you pretty much nailed it. I just think it's the Rhea, Charlotte, Io sort of thing that kind of I'm a little different, same results, but I don't see Rhea being friends with her, period. I mean, I see like once she beats her, I think Rhea's going to be pissed she's coming for her. She's like, you could go take on Liv. Why are you coming at me? I thought we were friends.
And maybe I said it wrong. I don't mean that necessarily they're going to be friends after it,
or you're saying the mutual respect. Even I don't see them shaking hands after the match. Or
yeah, and I could see it. I could see it maybe that the implosion of Raquel and Liv is so bad that whenever it comes time for Charlotte and Io, they just straight up say, "Hey, look, they've got all that going on over there. We're declaring right now the winner of this is going after Rhea." So it's either going to be because Io says, "Hey, look, I want to run it back with my best friend one more time. If I win, I'm going after Rhea." And Charlotte says, "Well, look, I've kind of become friends with Rhea as well. I've grown to trust her a little bit. I want to test myself against Rhea because the last time we faced off at WrestleMania, she beat me. So I want to run it back with Rhea. And so they kind of just agree, hey, look, whichever one of us wins, we're coming after you, Rhea. So I could see it being something like that of like, again, the Judgment Day implosion is just so crazy that they're just like, okay, so they obviously got to figure
Oh
that
yeah,
out.
no, and Io has made it clear that she's coming after Rhea, and Rhea's like, "Come on!" Like, 'cause, I mean, usually I would be like, "Why would Io go after Rhea? Why wouldn't she go after Liv?" But she's made it kind of clear in a
Right.
friendly way that she's coming for that title again. So, I mean, because otherwise, I'm like, why wouldn't if Io won? Why wouldn't she go after Liv? But I'm with you. I feel like both of them do. The winner goes after Rhea. I didn't even think about like the Raquel thing falling out that hard, but but I mean, look, we've been waiting for it. So I would love it if they actually pulled the trigger and we got Liv versus Raquel / Roxanne. So I feel like Roxanne takes Raquel's side.
Yeah, hey,
So
make it a triple threat, bro. Make it a triple threat
well, I
match.
don't I don't think Roxanne wants in like that. I think
Maybe
her and
not.
Raquel are close. I think it's like Liv and Dom, in a sense,
Mm.
versus Raquel and Roxanne.
Yeah, and I think that we see a world where very soon Liv and Dom both are championship lists. They don't have a title and they're running around with each other. And honestly, like I could even deal with them breaking up as well.
Oh yeah, no, I
Where
feel like that'll lead to the breakup of that, and then it'll be like a reinvention of both of them, and we'll have to see how they reinvent. Maybe that's when
yeah.
Dom finally goes to Ray. You know, maybe not. You
Yeah,
know,
because let's sidebar about that just for a second because I really thought that the Ray and Dom stuff was happening at Triple Mania, but with Dom still being the AAA Mega Champion, the Mega Campeon, and it looks like El Grande Americano is probably going to be the guy next in line for that title because again, dude, we didn't even talk about the mask versus mask match.
right,
El,
right,
El
right.
Grande Americano is Hulk Hogan levels in Mexico, dude. Like he is a hero of a country that he's not even from. It's like this is a German guy playing an American guy playing a Mexican guy. It's like I don't know that I've ever seen a guy get a gimmick over so hard. Like I don't know if you saw, they sold a stadium out just to like hype him up before the mask versus mask match, and the entire arena was singing to him, and he was crying, like he was shedding tears. The dude is kissing babies. Like people are getting his signature tattooed in Mexico because he is so like again he is a Mexican icon and he's not even from there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's just
Well,
it boggles
and
my mind.
it's good for Logan Kaiser, man. I mean, you catch
Yeah,
lightning in a bottle once and you get lucky. And talk about a guy who, I mean, I don't know. You'd have to tell me, but right now is if he was still on WWE, would be like an Austin Theory level kind of guy, if that.
yeah.
You
He'd
know,
be in the mid card scene, no doubt.
yeah.
And
Right. And like I said, gets a gimmick that's not even his to begin with, technically. I mean, just the amount of luck being in the right place at the right time, embracing the opportunity, and fully embracing. It's like as you pointed out, it's like he knew Spanish before he moved there. I'm sure he had some idea. Most Europeans, because like I said, European languages are somewhat close. So a lot of them, but still he embraced it all. He didn't sit there and like just, like go, oh, man, they're moving me to AAA. You know what I mean? Or whatever. He didn't. So if anything, that's a life lesson for everybody, man. Always look for the opportunity in whatever you get, because
yeah,
who
dude.
knows,
Look,
man,
he
you could maximize.
got himself a new partner in life in his girlfriend. Bought a home in Mexico, became fluent in the language, learned the customs, and won the heart of Mexico. Like he
And
won the
probably
heart of
never
an entire
and
country.
probably never see Ludwig Kaiser again. You know what I
Oh
mean?
no, like if I'm Ludwig Kaiser, I'm never Ludwig Kaiser again.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is it. This guy should be El Grande Americano until the day he is done in professional wrestling.
exactly. That's what I'm
Like
saying. Like,
and the crazy thing is if he ever leaves WWE, he can just keep wrestling. And I even think I told you this in our text thread that I think that he should because wrestlers go through heel and face turns, right? And I know he's so over right now, but I think that he should be a heel at some point, and I think he should don the mask that Chad Gable even wore, like that red and black mask. He
mhm.
should be evil El Grande Americano eventually, and
El
I,
Greedy Americano.
hey, something. I just think he's found his gimmick for the rest of his
Right,
life.
that's what I'm
I think
saying, like
he's
yeah.
good. He's set. He never needs to be anybody else but what he is right now. So look, I keep telling you, or I told you this the other day. I at the very minimum, it's tied for my favorite match of all time now. That mask versus mask match. My favorite look, I know there are so many better matches than the match that was my favorite of all time, which is Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn at TakeOver Dallas. When I tell you I've seen that match so many times, I could choreograph it from beginning to end with my eyes closed. But in the first day or two, in the first 48 hours that mask versus mask match happened, I watched it 4 times. Like I've seen it so many times already at this point, and it is just like, I mean, everybody said it. It is two guys that aren't even Mexican completely embracing the Mexican culture and heritage that is lucha libre, and really the embodiment of a mask versus mask match. Like I just can't overstate enough how much I love that match, and at the bare minimum, it's tied for my favorite match of all time. It might be my favorite match of all time now. It was so good. And talk about making chicken salad out of chicken shit, you know? Like these guys took something that was supposed to be a joke. And let's not even talk about Gable and Kaiser. Let's talk about Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate and the Creed brothers. Again, hey, Third Eye Casey called the Creed brothers being in the masks months ago, but Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate also went down to Mexico, embraced the culture, and have become beloved figures in professional wrestling down there.
Yeah, I mean, they probably never come back either in a
They
sense.
don't need to,
Yeah,
man.
that's
They're
what I'm
so
saying.
good in their
Yeah.
roles, and we even talked about Pete Dunne was the producer for that match. Pete
Yeah.
Dunne put that whole match
Match
together.
together. Right. No, yeah, look, if I'm Pete Dunne, I'm sitting here going, WWE, back up a truck for me real fast here, you know?
Yeah, dude. Like, and WWE, write the damn check.
Yeah.
Do it for all of them. Like, I don't know, man. I can't overstate it enough. Like, that match was so good. The storyline was so perfect. Talk about screw lightning in a bottle. I don't even know, man. They just lightning struck 5 times in the same place. These guys were so good in their role, but we could talk more and more about that. Maybe we'll do a whole separate video just talking about the mask versus mask match. Maybe we'll go watch it and then do a whole like retrospective of it. But last point we want to talk about before we finish the show up, reports are coming out, Matt. That Kevin Owens may be back at the end of August from this neck surgery. Now, this is great news for me because Kevin Owens, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and I genuinely thought he was done. I never thought we'd see him in a ring again, and now I'm not counting chickens before they hatch. I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe that he's back when he's actually back. But look, if Kevin Owens is really healthy and he can come back and wrestle and his health won't be at risk, come on back, dude. We need you. We need Kevin Owens. The wrestling world is better when Kevin Owens is in it. And you want to talk about the SmackDown World Championship scene needing somebody to inject some life into it? Imagine Cody Rhodes retains at SummerSlam and then is just destroyed by Kevin Owens after the fact, or returning Kevin Owens. And because there's storyline there. Kevin Owens got hurt because of his match with Cody Rhodes. And so look, am I excited for Kevin Owens to come back? Hell yeah, obviously, dude. But I'm just trying not to get too excited until I actually see him back in a wrestling ring with a mic in his hand. And yeah, look, I hope he's coming back. That's all I can say. I hope he is.
Rumors are August 24th on Raw in Toronto. That's the rumor. That's the
Please,
rumor.
man, I need Kevin Owens back
I
in my
don't know, like,
life.
to what extent, if he's just going to be coming back on a mic, if he's going to have a match, you know, I'm sure it'll be it's going to be a huge pop. So it's not guaranteed, but that's the rumor that I read was August 24th. You know, somebody saw it like on a Twitter, like in the background sort of thing, you know, like
Mm,
on a board, you know. So it could be, could not be, we'll see. But that's what it's looking like, end of August. But he's even put up little shorts talking about that he's ready to come back. So
yeah,
he's coming back, I think. So I mean, I think coming back regardless. We just don't know if it's going to be as soon as August or whatever. And don't really know,
I
I guess,
hope.
maybe to what extent, because you say you're coming back doesn't mean you're coming back to wrestle, maybe, you know.
Right, right. Could be
So
coming back on commentary
right,
or
or could be coming
something.
back
Who
just as
knows?
part of a storyline. You know, maybe you still have 6 months before you're cleared. You know, who
Yeah.
knows?
I
So,
just
but
know with neck injuries, it's so tricky. But
mhm.
seeing Big E, after Big
Oh
E
yeah,
broke his
right,
neck,
right.
and I think Big E's done. I think he's even said like, "I'm good, guys. Like if I never come back, I'm okay." Because look, dude, Big E is one of the only 5 in history black WWE champions. And so, Big E, Kofi Kingston, Bobby Lashley, The Rock. A lot of people forget about The Rock's blackness, but he is half black. We can't deny the fact that his dad is Rocky Johnson. So, Big E, if he's done as well, has done pretty much all there is to do in the business, and he seems really happy with where he
Yeah, no,
is in his career.
he's good in that commentary role. I don't
He's
see
so
him
good.
getting back out. Yeah.
I got my box of Bootios back there, the OG box of Bootios. Hey, I had one of the first 50 boxes in existence. All right. I don't know if that's actually true, but I got one of the first ones to go out in the initial waves of like when they first dropped. I ordered them like 5 minutes after they dropped. Kofi Kingston actually shouted me out about that. I posted on Twitter that I'd gotten my box, and he's like, "Hell yeah, dude. By the way, if Casey Jones is your name, that's the coolest name ever." And I'm like, "It is my real name, Kofi. It is my real name." So shout out to Kofi Kingston. Hope to see them in AEW soon. And yeah, dude, if Kevin Owens is coming back, hell yeah. We talked a few months back about next generation of wrestlers. Kevin Owens, another guy who has a son that has shown interest in wrestling. His son Owen has apparently trained a little bit, and
Owen, Owen Owens.
well, his name used to be Kevin Steen.
Okay,
And so when he
okay,
came to
okay, okay.
WWE, they had to change it, and so he'd change it to Kevin Owens because his son's name is Owen. He named his son after Owen Hart, actually. So
Okay, all right, all right, all right.
yeah, yeah, Owen Owens, Owen Owens. That's it. Double O.
Double O,
Ooh,
double
we
O,
call him.
double. You got to get like 008. Like
There
the
you go.
next, the next after 007, 008.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us. What did you think about the show today? What do you think about the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring tournaments coming up? What are you most excited about for SummerSlam? Let us know. Sound off in the comments below. Go check us out on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We don't have Twitter because we don't really mess with Twitter too much. It's a cesspool over there
I don't even know
sometimes.
how to use Twitter. Like
Yeah,
you know,
and I
I like.
refuse to call it
I
X. I
actually kind of like
refuse.
the TikTok. I'm getting used to the TikTok. So
Yeah, hey, go check out hold on. Impossible Octopus Culture Corner. Go
that's
check
right.
go check out Matt's TikTok over there. He's been opening boxes of comics from the last 3 years, and he's doing comic Saturdays, comic Sundays, comic Friday. He's highlighting comics every day of the week basically. So if you are interested in comics, he's got quite a backlog of videos that you can go check out over there. Let him know what you think. What are your favorite comics? Let him know in his comment section over there. So yeah, go check us out on everything, and don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, hit that noti bell so you know every time we post here on YouTube. And yeah, Matt, I think that's gonna do it for us. Feels good to be back in the saddle, back in the studio.
Go tell your friends who like wrestling about us. Ah,
Yeah, go tell your friends that like wrestling. Hey, we will be at Money in the Bank, but it looks like it's going to be a month
yeah,
later because WWE postponed it yet again. They moved it back another month. So, right the day that we bought our CVV Insight Live tickets, they said, "Oh, you bought your tickets? We're going to move it back a month. We're going to move Money in the Bank back just another month." So, good luck filling the arena now, WWE, because you were already having tough ticket sales and you pissed a lot of people off with that. So, good luck. So, anyways, that's going to do it for us here at TK Wrestling. We will see you next time. Sound off in the comments about what you thought about the show. We'll see you next time.